Welcome to Out Loud, a comedy podcast where I talk with queer comedians about identity as well as just talk and shop about the comedy community. I'm your host, Corbin Willmorth, and I'm here because, well, what comedian just doesn't have a podcast nowadays? So for this first episode of Out Loud, I'm going to be talking to not only a dear friend of mine, but the first person to answer their DMs when I was kind of doing a mass search looking for podcast guests. This is Jenni Watson, a trans comedian out of Spokane, Washington.
So yes, my name is Jenni Watson. I am a trans comedian here in Spokane. To be honest, being trans in Spokane is a lot better than being trans in North Dakota, which is where I'm from. Yeah, that's a good reaction. To hearing that. I did not start transitioning when I was living in North Dakota because I want to live. I joke about that, but there's a legit fear.
Now that set was recorded back in 2023 at the Atomic Threads Boutique, which is a kink-centric clothing shop here in Spokane, which unfortunately has closed its doors. But this next clip I have of Jenni, this one's a bit more recent, so you can get a good sense of what she's like now.
Coach, that was in my budget. It's the Willmorth self-checkout machine. Like seriously, I get excited every time. I think one of the most common lessons is, please take your change. Cash is dispensed below the scanner. Oh, you cheer now, you would not be cheering when you get home and you just hear, I am in your closet.
Now this clip is one that Jenni had asked me to use. This is one that I like personally more.
Side note, I actually just got back from a trip in Tacoma, and I had like 3 straight guys hit on me.
Right on.
Which is nice, but I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm just like, oh, who's gonna tell him? Because you can't find that out on your own. I have to eventually say something. It's gonna be awkward when we get to the hotel room and all of a sudden, I drop my panties and...
Now that you've gotten a taste of what Jenni's comedy style is like, as well as why I wanted her on my podcast, let's just move on to the interview. Anything but a blue Yeti would have been better.
Anything.
Well, look, this is a $900 podcast setup, okay? I've got a $750 iPad hooked up to a $20 adapter and a $100 microphone that I got from Walmart.
Plus, I don't even know what kind of questions you're going to ask me.
Okay, so I do have a couple of pre-prepared questions, and then I just have a few questions that I definitely just came up with on the car right here. So, first question I have for you, and this is not one of the ones I had prepared. So you go by Spokane's favorite trans bitch. What's the story behind that?
So, part of me is I try not to go by that in queer spaces because, for obvious reasons.
Right.
I didn't start calling myself that.
Then how did it start?
I believe it was, so, I don't know if it was, I think Jay and Anthony both started doing it, Jay Berg and Anthony Singleton started doing it around at the same time.
Okay.
I don't know who started it. Jay claims he started it. Anthony also, I think, has claimed at one point he started it, but I don't think he claims it anymore. So, I think it's Jay. Because that sounds very Jay.
It does a little bit, yeah. But yeah, no, but you are known around the city of Spokane as Spokane's, at least in the comedy circle, you're known as that.
In specific comedy circles, I would say that, yeah.
So definitely this nickname is not something you chose for yourself then.
No, there are some, I'm not going to name names, there are some people who are not exactly thrilled by me having that nickname.
Right.
And I don't know, to put it frankly, in some cases I don't know if it's for the bitch part and I don't know if it's for the favorite part.
Okay. And
I don't want to seem like I'm better than anybody. I want to make that very clear. Mm-hmm. I'm not Spokane's favorite trans comedian. I'm not Spokane's favorite trans person. I'm not Spokane's favorite trans woman. Mm-hmm. I'm a bitch. So sometimes I can be a bitch, so I was that makes sense. Spokane's favorite trans bitch.
I mean,
I'll accept it.
Yeah, at the very least, there could be a lot worse, local nicknames that you could have, that's for sure.
There's definitely worse nicknames to have. There's definitely worse. I honestly, at least, like, my nickname's not a slur, you know? At least...
That is fair. It's better than being known as Spokane's favorite I guess.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I also gave myself a different nickname. Like, I gave myself a nickname.
What if you could have had your own nickname rather than Spokane's favorite trans bitch?
No, Trans Stoner Barbie.
Oh yeah, you've done bits about Trans Stoner Barbie.
I've done bits about Trans Stoner Barbie. I have a hat that I don't wear anymore because one time I got a joke that about it that I was like, it doesn't really fit me anymore.
Right.
But it's a hat that says Stoner Barbie and has a character of mine next to it. We can go into more details of it later of that particular character.
Mm-hmm.
But like I even have like I want to make more merch obviously of it, but like if I were to make merch, Trans Stoner Barbie would probably be up there.
You'd probably get sued for having merch that says the trans love child of Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah, I mean, and I wouldn't get sued for Barbie.
I mean, which one is more likely to sue you, Mattel or Kevin Smith?
Yes.
That's fucking fair.
In the world of capitalism, yes.
Honestly, that's so valid. I keep forgetting my communistic roots. Okay. All right, now
that's a great thing to just say it out in the world.
No,
right now, out of all times to say that, that's when we're going to say that.
From the moment I told my family I was going to college to be a journalist, they were like, "Oh, you fucking socialist." Like, that's an identity I've accepted.
No, I mean, you can accept it. I'm just saying, right now is a very bold time to put that out in the world. Like, I'm just saying.
I am a bisexual stand-up comedian. I'm already an enemy of the fucking state. What? I'm going to give them more ammunition to arrest me? They're going to arrest me anyway. All right, now for the questions I've actually prepared. All right, so what does it mean to you to be a queer comic?
To be honest, don't really consider myself a queer comic half the time. I consider myself a comic that happens to be queer.
That is the same answer a different comedian had.
I mean, because it is a part of my identity, but it's not like the only thing about me.
Right. Yes.
Obviously, I'm proud to represent myself as a queer person. I have the trans flag tattooed on my arm. However poorly it was tattooed on there,
right.
It's still there. So I'm in it for the long haul. Clearly, what it just means to me is just like I'm glad I'm able to make jokes and tell stories about my life as a trans person in this weird ass world of ours. Mm-hmm. And while it's not the only thing I talk about, I'm not gonna lie, it is a part of the set.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
I'd be an idiot to say it wasn't. I make jokes about it all the time.
I.e., I think the clip I used in my promo was you using the Walmart self-checkout line as, like, your vocal training.
Yeah. A lot of people like that bit.
Uh-huh.
Some people because it sounds accurate and it fucking weirds them out. And some people because they actually, like, relate so hard about, like, the vocal training thing. And that's mostly, like, my trans folks, obviously. But at the same time, it's just like, I like the bit because it's like, I like doing funny voices. Like, even if my impressions aren't that accurate, like, I do a shitty Donald Trump impression very occasionally in my set, only for like one or two jokes, and it's not that good.
Right.
But I'll do it anyway. I also did a David Attenborough impression early on in my set. What I used to do is this joke about Grindr. Mm-hmm. Because at one point, it's not this, I don't know if it's the same anymore because it very much feels different now, but Grindr used to have the same notification noise for every model of phone.
Yeah, it still does. As someone who still uses Grindr, I can confirm it still has that same ping.
Yeah, the thing is, it's no longer for every model of phone. For some reason, it's different on mine. I think there was like a weird update that like somehow I was able to change the notification noise.
Okay, I'm just going to edit this in post. Here's what I know the Grindr notification as, and here's what you know the notification as.
Come on over.
Well, I know it as the same thing. It's just because I don't use notification noises anymore because I'm not stupid.
No, that's valid.
But I used to do this joke about how since it was the same noise for every model of phone, it basically turned into the gay mating call.
I mean,
And then after that, I do this whole thing where I'm like, I am expecting David Attenborough to just be like, and here we have the majestic homosexual. Searching for a mate in their natural habitat. And then I just like do a whole like little spiel about that. It's not a good David Attenborough. I get that.
Searching for their mate in the natural habitat.
That doesn't sound...
The globe. Yeah,
that sounds more like Jacques Cousteau.
I was about to say Nigel Thornberry.
No, what the...
Like a diet Nigel Thornberry.
Not even a dying Nigel Thornberry.
Not even a damn. Okay.
I'm sorry. I loved the Thornberrys. There's especially Tim Curry. Anything Tim Curry's amazing.
No, feel free to drag me as fucking much as you want.
I mean, I am a comedian. It's kind of like half of the shit.
That is true.
All right. What's the next question?
All right. So, what's the weirdest or funniest thing that's ever happened to you at an event or a show?
Oh my god. At a show that I put together, I got a heckler.
Ooh.
But they weren't a mean heckler. They were a very, very enthusiastic trans woman who was very, very, very sweet to me and was just responding to each joke because it was in a bar setting. In a bar setting, you don't really realize it that much. Even if it's a show, people, it's hard to get people focused in a bar, but when you do, oh my gosh, you know you've made it. This person was very much heckling, and I was like, I'm making jokes with the response, but I'm not being mean because this is like it's a fundraiser show, so I didn't want to be rude to this person. They ended up realizing afterwards that they made a huge mistake, and they apologized afterwards. Mm-hmm. Then later on, their friend came over to me and said, hey, listen, they didn't want to say it in front of you, but they think you're really cute, and they were kind of wondering if they could get your number.
So this totally was like a, hey, my partner and I were totally checking out your vibe, like fucking situation.
Kinda. But this wasn't we ended up dating for a solid, 10 months.
Okay.
Which is hilarious because, they actually helped me come up with the, Walmart self-checkout joke.
Oh my god.
Well, because we were talking about it one day and we were just we were just talking about how dumb the Walmart self-checkout thing was, and then I just started doing the voice randomly, and they were like, wow, you're pretty good at that. And it was just like, okay, well, then I kind of workshopped it, and then it became one of my most favorite jokes.
Okay.
But yeah, so that was probably the weirdest thing that ever happened to a show. I got roundabout a show got me laid.
Coming up with these questions while this is a comedy podcast and it is a queer podcast as well, I'm trying to do it as part comedy, part serious queer identity. So
I get you.
So some of these questions are funny because the whole point of this podcast is to interview comedians.
Right, but things are also going to get serious.
Because you can't really have the queer discussion without it being serious.
Let's get to it.
All right, so what has been your experience as a queer person in this seemingly not so queer friendly stand-up community?
Okay, I'm not going to answer that question, honestly.
We're skipping that question?
No, because I'm also really tired of it. It's not talk. Look.
I will fully cut this out if you just want to be honest.
I'm going to be 100% honest.
Uh-huh.
You can keep it if you'd like. The community is not unfriendly to queer people. Mm-hmm. People, I understand why. Mm-hmm. Because when you get there, people make fun of you. Okay? That's what happens in the comedy scene. And I get that because it happens to me occasionally. But it's not just they're not just making fun of queer people. They're making fun of everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody is a target. You have been made fun of on stage before.
Yes, true.
And you still go back.
Yes.
Whether it's because you're I don't know, it could be just because you enjoy what you're doing. Mm-hmm. It could be out of spite, being like, hey, fuck y'all, I'm gonna keep doing this no matter what you say to me. Either way, love it. And I understand why people find it toxic or find it unwelcoming. Mm-hmm. I get that. There are times when there's a joke where I'm like, okay, that one, not a fan of. That one kind of hit to the back of the throat a little bit, and I'm not a big fan of how I'm feeling afterwards. Mm-hmm. The only way we're going to get more queer comics is not if we make queer-only comedy spaces.
Right.
The way we make more queer comics is by going in uncomfortable spots. Mm-hmm. And by being uncomfortable. Some of these people I do not agree with on a lot of different things. I see them on Facebook. I see them on other social medias, and they're saying things that I don't agree with a lot of the times.
Yes, this is a thing I've witnessed as well.
But then those people will 100% back me up when push comes to shove. I want to tell you a story. Mm-hmm. And this I actually do want you to keep in this whole thing. There was a person that went on stage and they had a whole table of friends. Mm-hmm. Their friends were getting a little bit drunk and a little bit rowdy. Mm-hmm. He ran over his time and everyone started clapping. Of course, his friends, being dumbasses, think this is a good thing. For reference to people who don't realize, at our local comedy club, we have this thing called getting clapped off the stage. If you run your time, they're going to start clapping until you get off the stage, until you shut up and get off the stage. If you're new, you probably don't realize that and might think that they really, really like your last joke. No, that's not what's happening.
No.
And it happens occasionally where a comedian doesn't realize that that's what's going on, or they just refuse. I'm not going to say names, but some people just refuse to get the heck off the stage.
Right.
This person didn't realize they were running the light, didn't realize they were getting clapped off the stage. They thought they were getting cheered. So when the host finally had to get on stage and be like, hey, you're done, the table of his friends started basically booing the crap out of the host and basically heckling. Mm-hmm. Guess who was next on stage?
You?
I was next on stage. I had to go up there and I had to not derail, but I had to de-escalate, the energy. Mm-hmm. So I made a little joke about the last guy. I was like, I think that was the last time someone has ever told you, okay, I think that was going too far, or going too long. Mm-hmm. Basically making a dumb sex joke. I don't even remember the exact wording of it.
Right.
It made a few people laugh. And then at this point, drunkest person at the table decided to yell out, he's funnier than you!
Oh.
And everyone heard it. Now, I'm not, I do my thing, I roast him, we move on. I do a few more jokes about him in the set. After I get off stage, I get, told that I did a good job, but I also get told about 5 or 6 of those comedians that I wouldn't really exactly agree with were already getting up to kick the shit out of this guy because they thought that this guy was going to start doing some even worse things.
Really?
Yes. It might seem toxic. Mm-hmm. I get it. It might seem like a hostile place, and it can be. It can really feel that way. But I'm telling you, from someone who has, started at this comedy club, it is not as toxic and it's not as hostile as everyone believes it out to be. I'm never going to be able to convince people to go over to the comedy club. I'm never going to be able to. I get that.
Right.
But no one will ever convince me that they dislike the queer community over there.
And again, me bringing this up is not me trying to label the comedy community or the same community as this toxic thing. I am, in a way, kind of trying to, dispel, this kind of notion that there is. Because to a lot of people, it does seem toxic, but to a lot of people, it seems like the most welcoming community that there is.
And I'm not gonna, it's any spot that's not really, quote-unquote, designed for queer folks is going to come off very, hostile.
Right.
And this is always a really tough subject because I love being trans. I love being a queer comic per se, but I also love I love that I started at the comedy club at the same time, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I started there too. The whole reason I started doing stand-up is because you convinced me to go.
Well, honestly, hearing that means a lot.
Yeah.
Can I convince you to stop? I'm kidding.
Can you convince me to stop?
I'm kidding.
Damn, okay.
I'm kidding. Look at me. I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
Okay. Get the fuck out of my car.
Next time, get a better recording setup than the car.
Well, to be fair, I should have planned this out better.
In all fairness, this is even more funny. You were thinking you were going to record this in my house. You were just assuming I had a setup for this shit.
I was just going to set this up on, your fucking kitchen table, and we were just going to sit on,
My kitchen table's set up for weed! And it's still set up for weed. I haven't cleaned that table in, 2 months.
Fuck, that's a good point. Yeah, no, I'll just set my microphone right next to, the, empty eighth jars that are just stacking up. Like a fucking, Fuck, what are those called?
I threw away all those, thank you very much, but I don't like being called out. And honestly, I will say the way you said it, I can tell you've never smoked weed. Or that you at least don't.
No, so I used to smoke weed a fucking lot, but then I hated the anxiety it gave me, so I stopped for like 18 months. And then I just picked it back up again.
You want to know when the last time I smoked weed was?
Was it like 20 fucking minutes ago? Because you reek of weed in my fucking car?
Maybe. What do you think I was doing before you picked me up?
Judging by the smell coming out of your door, smoking weed?
It wasn't out of my door. I was outside.
No, but like your apartment reeked of weed.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit?
No, because that's my neighbor's been noticing smells, and I don't smoke inside.
Mm-hmm.
Which means I just need to clean the living. I need to clean up the kitchen better.
Clean out, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not smoking inside. I'm smoking outside.
Well then.
Technically, they can't really get mad at me for doing that, but I also really like my neighbors.
That's fair.
When I lost my job, like, a few years ago, they sent me flowers.
Oh.
Yeah. They didn't do it after every job, I'll tell you that.
That's fair, that's fair.
After, like, job number 6, they were like, I'm running out of flowers.
Welcome to everyone's favorite part of the podcast, the ad break, which this is the first episode, so there really aren't any ads to play. Yeah, ain't got no sponsors. This is just episode 1, and, you know, I'm broke as fuck, so I'm sponsoring myself, because fuck it. In this podcast's infancy, the best way that you can support me right now is to, subscribe. Whether you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or even if you're listening to this on any other platform, just please subscribe and listen to this. Because once I get, I believe, 10 active followers, I can get ad revenue. If you're listening to this on YouTube, then, I don't get any ad revenue from YouTube, so you guys are just listening to this for free. I'm not getting paid for it. At some point, I'll probably make a Patreon, and when it does, I'll be sure to mention it in the ad segment, and I'll even link it in the show notes. Patreon's probably a good idea. I should probably really look into that, because I'm going to be honest, this podcast production ain't cheap, gotta pay for gas to go out and meet all these people, gotta pay for snacks, because I don't sure as shit got any fucking money to be paying these people. Maybe once I get that ad revenue, I'll actually start paying these people in actual money and not hostess donuts like I paid Jenni. Long motherfucking story short, with this whole side tangent I got going on, please subscribe to this podcast so I can start making money. I've got a few seconds here before the music kicks back in. If you're listening to this on October 21st, please come out to the Spokane Comedy Club. I'll be doing open mic tonight at 7 p.m. and I'll try to make it out to Tea's Lounge later. Anyway, thank you for listening. What's the best and worst advice you've ever received?
Gosh, even the worst advice, still is good advice. I haven't gotten bad advice, really. I've gotten some really solid advice when it comes to comedy. Record everything you can. Don't be afraid to do the same set, a few times, flesh it out. Obviously, be willing to, switch it up. Always be writing. I don't remember who I heard it from, but write one joke a day.
Write one joke a day.
Now, have I been doing that all the time? No. I'll be honest, I need to, pick that back up.
Yeah.
I was letting life get in the way of things.
Yeah, I'll write, 3 or 4 a week. Like, I'll have my notebook on me at all times, but only very rarely will the inspiration come.
We all have some free time. Like,
Uh-huh.
even if it's just 15 minutes, now you have those 15 minutes to spend joke writing.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, now the rest of your now you have all your time filled. Unfortunately, sorry, but
Yeah, right.
but no, like, write one joke a day. Not all of them are gonna be good,
Right.
but you're writing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, I can't think of any of the bad advice because, spoiler alert, if I get bad advice, I don't tend to remember it.
That's fair. You've never, like, gotten advice, tested it out, gotten poor reception, and be like, wow, that's dog shit.
Actually, you know what? No, there was one. Someone recommended to me that I take a shot or do a drink before, or I drink before going on. At least one drink before going on. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I still do that if I've eaten beforehand and I need to, like, calm the nerves. But you shouldn't really have to rely on alcohol. That's a terrible, terrible thing.
Yeah, no, that's borderline alcoholism there.
It is borderline alcoholism, and if it will lead to some very unhealthy habits, and if you're doing that for long periods of time, that's basically asking your liver to basically just commit suicide.
I was about to ask what comedian isn't a borderline alcoholic, and then my brain went...
Jesus Christ!
My brain went to a really dark fucking place there. But, you know...
Yeah, usually people think... But... See, that's a dark-ass joke.
That's a dark fucking joke.
That one we probably can't keep in.
Probably not. I'll just bleep it out. And if you want to hear all of our uncensored jokes, please subscribe to my Patreon, which I don't have.
Good, because I don't want that on it.
That's fair. What if I, like, give you some of the revenue? I pay you for the dark joke.
I don't know. Like, I feel like if we all survive the next 3 years, that's a good way of getting canceled.
That's valid. That's valid. Yeah, no, I will bleep that out.
The fact that I have to say that is terrifying.
Yeah, no. And, like, fuck. I forget, I think it was that I was having this conversation with, where it's like, one of the reasons I wanted to start this podcast was to highlight queer people in the comedy community, or even just queer entertainers in general. Because whenever, like, say you're like, oh, name 5 comedians, you're not going to name a queer one. But if you say name 5 queer comedians, all of them are canceled.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Until my ass gets on famous.
Gets
famous.
Eh.
That's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. Mm-hmm. I do believe that I have met, I'm not gonna name names because I don't know for sure who it is, but I do believe I have met someone who is going to be incredibly famous, like, in the next, like, decade.
Is it?
No, I don't. When I say I'm not going to name anybody, it's because I literally don't know who it is.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying that as a general, this area has a lot of talent.
It does. I ran into at the dope show, and, like, fucking, he got in right before me, and they were doing, like, a bong giveaway, like a raffle ticket bong giveaway. Motherfuckers, his number was 1 digit higher than mine, and he ended up winning one of, like, the 5 bongs that were going away, and I was like, fuck you.
That would have pissed me off.
No, it did piss me off, because I was like, I could have gotten a free bong. Are you fucking serious?
Oh, yeah. How many more questions you got?
I've got a few. Let's assume you go to therapy, which as a comedian is very likely not happening, but let's just say it is. If you were to choose any fictional character to be your therapist, who would it be and why?
A genie.
A genie? Like,
yeah, specifically Genie from Aladdin.
Is it because it's Robin Williams?
No, it's because I can just be like, Genie, I wish I didn't need the emotional, like, or I'd be like, Genie, I wish I had the emotional, like, maturity to handle all my problems. Genie, I wish I was able to unpack my emotional baggage in a safe and controlled manner. Genie, I wish you got paid, like, double as a therapist.
Genie, 1 antidepressant, please. And he just gives you, like, a blunt.
Imagine that. If that was all it took to solve my problems, we wouldn't be talking about therapy.
That is valid.
But no, it would be Genie from Aladdin, just so I can get... No, honestly, I don't think there's a fictional character that would be good as a therapist, personally. Maybe, you know what, maybe, it's gonna sound crazy, but someone from the Psychonaut series.
The Milkman?
No, I'm talking about someone like Sasha.
Oh, okay.
Sasha would be great, because they can just, like, throw a door on my forehead, go in my brain, talk to, like, a little version of me inside my brain, figure out what the heck's going on, and then, like, you know...
Come back and be like, hey, this is what's fucking wrong with you.
Yeah, and I'll be like, oh, okay, so what would you recommend? What kind of therapy would you recommend? They'd be like, fireball, because they threw fireballs at the sensors in my brain.
No, for some reason, when I said that joke, I was like, yeah, doc, like... My wife took the kids, my house burned down, my dog ran away, and it'd be like, that sucks. Have you tried my fucking milk? I'm the milkman. My milk is delicious.
Jesus Christ. If anyone hasn't played that video game, holy shit, no one's going to realize what that joke is.
Yeah, no one's... Unless you have played that game series, you're not going to know what the fuck we're talking about.
I am the milkman. My milk is delicious.
Yeah, some things are just meant for us.
Yeah, some things are just inside jokes, and that's okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess those two.
Okay.
Just because therapy is such a complicated thing, and I'm just tired of having to jump through all the fucking hoops on figuring out what the fuck's wrong with me.
That's so valid. And then here's another serious question. How does being queer affect your comedy, and how has your perspective made you stand out compared to other non-queer comedians?
Could you repeat the second part of that?
How has your perspective made you stand out compared to other non-queer comedians?
I'll be honest. I'm like one of the few trans comedians that go to the comedy club. I think I'm the only one.
I think you are the only one, which is how you got the nickname.
Right. And I want to make it very clear. That's the only reason I got the nickname. Because if other folks went over there, I wouldn't.
Right.
Because there are other people that are funnier than me.
Well, I mean, part of the nickname is favorite, so you just have to beat the competition.
Right. Without naming names, some people have been very, very vocal about they have said it on stage how, like, they're not cool with it.
Right.
Which I get. But either way, my perspective is, like, anytime I make a trans joke, anytime I talk about it, it is a perspective that no other person in that room practically has. There's sometimes I get some trans folks and some queer folks in the audience, which is awesome. But a lot of times it's, straight presenting folks. Sometimes I use that to my advantage. Sometimes I'm like, I'll use your own prejudices against you, and I'll get a laugh out of you. And...
Like, you could be like, I'm the blue-haired they-them that your mother warned you about.
I kind of go with that kind of energy.
Like that kind of energy?
Right.
And that is how you would say it has made you stand out compared to non-queer comedians?
I mean...
Because you can bring that energy that they can't.
I feel like that's how I stand out.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that that's how you stand out.
Plus, I do really funny voices.
That is another thing. If you're a comic that can do funny voices, then you're going to go far.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I still just like hitting them with the, in 15 feet, turn right.
In 15, U-turn, recalculating.
In 15, U-turn, recalculating. Recalculate.
More and fragrance.
No.
No. Did you even get that reference?
I don't.
No. Asian YouTuber who did like the iPod human Google Glass. No. How to Be Ninja is the DVD for you.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've watched old YouTube.
That's valid. What advice would you give to up-and-coming comedians who are struggling to find their voice or facing rejection?
To be honest, repetition. You're not going to be amazing the first time. You're probably going to get a decent reaction because, believe it or not, the comedy club likes newcomers because it means that there's a chance for new faces. If you want to do this, be ready to fail. you are not going to succeed more often than you are going to succeed. And that is just the unfortunate facts of it. There's going to be times where it's like, you're going to ask yourself if you really want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
If the answer is even remotely a yes, then you fucking put your nose to the grindstone and you work. Because it is work. It can be some of the most fun you've ever had in your life, but it's also work. Especially if in someone in my position. I don't own a car.
Right.
I don't own a license either. Which makes it even more difficult, because no one would let me borrow their car.
Right.
Which they shouldn't.
No.
I don't have a license.
Exactly.
You be fucking responsible. Sorry I keep cussing so much. It's just...
No, this is my podcast. I don't have sponsors. If people want to sponsor me, pay me to stop cursing.
Sorry, I think I got a little off track.
You did.
I won't lie, it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
Some people go to an open mic for the first time, they do their little thing, they've had their fun, they giggle with their friends, and they're like, okay, we're good. That's off the bucket list. Some people do that, and they use it as an outlet to just say whatever the hell they want for the week.
Right.
Whether it's a venting sesh or a political venting sesh.
Yeah, there are some people who view open mic as therapy.
Right. And then there are some people that after the first time, after every laugh, they felt a little bit more of a rush.
Mm-hmm.
And after the second time, when they bombed, they still felt that rush.
Right.
If you had that rush after bombing, then holy crap, this might be for you. You just have to put a lot of work in.
So every comedian is basically just an adrenaline junkie.
I wouldn't say that.
There
is an adrenaline rush, in my opinion, to it.
Right.
Like, you also have to realize probably multiple anxiety disorders, if we're being real. Like,
people with anxiety disorders are the funniest fucking people.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the adrenaline is gonna hit me differently. That's all I'm trying to say.
Do you think there is or will ever be a place for queer comedy in this day and age?
Yes, of course there is.
And then the last question is, what kind of legacy do you hope to leave in the world of comedy, and what do you want people to remember you for?
Damn.
See, like I said, this is a funny haha podcast where I want to interview comedians, ask funny questions.
What do I want my legacy to be?
But I do want to also be serious at some times.
I don't know, a funny quote on my tombstone? I'm kidding.
Funny quote on your tombstone.
No, I want my legacy. When people think of Spokane comedy,
mm-hmm.
I want them to think of Jenni Watson. Mm-hmm. Not only, but I want to be in the conversation.
You want to be in the top Spokane 5.
Maybe not even the Spokane 5, just in the Spokane. I'll even take top 20.
You'll take top 20?
There's a lot of comics, man.
Yeah, no, there are so many comics.
I want to be talked to. I want when people are talking about the best in Spokane, I want to be in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
When people are talking about the best comedy in the queer spaces of Spokane, I want to be in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
When people are talking about who they think should get the next Netflix special, I want to be in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I want my legs. I don't need to be the greatest of all time. I don't need to be the greatest to ever live. I want to be in the conversation.
You just want to be on the Wikipedia page of comedians from Spokane, where there is currently only 3.
I want to be in the No, you're missing it. I want to be in the conversation. I don't care if I'm not the best, but if you're talking about me...
This is just me now actually wondering what Wikipedia says as comedians from Spokane. Jerry Seinfeld, what? Other notable artists who have... not performed in Spokane, comedians from Spokane. Yes, the very famous from Spokane comedian Jerry Seinfeld and Adam Conover. Oh, immediately Harry J. Riley pops up. But it was honestly really great to have you, in my car recording a podcast instead of in a building.
Hey, it was my pleasure. Thank you for the donuts that I probably am going to depressingly eat in my bathtub later.
1 bag of Hostess donuts as your payment for being on my podcast.
Yeah, because as a comedian, I definitely don't want money.
Well,
Yeah,
as a comedian, I don't have the fucking money to give you.
No, I was just making a joke that clearly if I want.
I was also making a joke.
No, the joke I was going for is if I want to be a comedian, clearly I've accepted the fact that I am not getting money.
Oh, okay. Maybe I am too autistic to understand jokes.
Be a hell of a way to find out.
All right, get the fuck out of my car. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Hope you tune into the next one. Please do me a favor and check out the show notes. There you're going to find our guest's social media as well as the stuff of my own that I'm plugging. I would like to give a shout out to my friend Morningstar for being the one to actually make the profile image for this podcast. Do you know of any other queer comedians that I should contact to see if I can get on this podcast? Let me know and I'll see if I can hunt them down. My name is Corbin Willmorth. Thank you for listening, and as a reminder, make sure you don't keep your head on straight.